Alright, so Digimon Tamers, episode 49. Uh, I guess first off, effing Beelzemon, man. Oh, geez, this was just way too large. What have I done?
I mean, this is always how it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah,
So,
Beelzemon almost dies.
So yeah, last time Beelzemon just, took a bunch of damage and just almost dies. And he just, he literally, falls out of the sky. He's gonna fall into the D Reaper. Everyone's freaking out, no, we have to save him. And, you see him go into it. I'm pretty sure you see the splash as he's, dying.
Yeah.
And, Granny just shows up and he's just got him on it. He's like, no, I saved him.
Yeah, it's despite the fact that you see him fall into the thing, I guess Granny swooped in underneath it and saved him. I don't know.
Yeah, Granny just skimmed under the surface and got him. Yeah, that's a weird throughout these episodes. It's the rules on how the D Reaper fluid actually works feels a bit inconsistent, honestly.
Yeah, because in the digital world, it's if this touches us, we're dead.
Yeah, because they're data. And that's if it touches us, we might live, but also kills Digimon, except for when it doesn't.
Yeah, we can't stay here too long or we'll just die.
Yeah, it depowers you, but I guess it doesn't make you, dead if you're a rookie. It just, de-digivolves. It's, yeah, very odd.
Yeah. So, I like that Beelzemon about to fall into the D Reaper goop as I couldn't even look cool in the end.
Yeah. It's I could even make my final moments good looking.
Yeah. Also, Beelzemon's partners are watching him die alive on television.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, because, they save Impmon, and you have a scene at some point where, his partners finally get their Digivice, and it's oh, Impmon has real partners now, and then he doesn't really do anything, and he just, the series wraps up, so they have to go back to the digital world. So it's oh, you finally got a Digivice. Alright, well, bye.
Yeah, this is the last thing that Impmon / Beelzemon actually does in the series, physical wise.
Yeah.
He does show up at the end and that other extra scene, but yeah, he doesn't do really much of anything else.
Yeah, I kind of wish he was more of a part of the final battle and stuff, but yeah, we just have such a large cast at this point. We have to just work around that somehow,
Yeah.
Because, it feels pretty much everyone gets something. There's a moment, I forget which episode it is, but there's a moment where, they're just, patrolling the streets or what, and there's, that giant, multi-mouthed agent thing again, and, effing Gargamon just shoots it.
Yeah. Rika and Renamon's moment is kind of lame because their moment involves giving Rio his moment.
Yeah, their moment involves giving Rio his moment that doesn't actually solve the problem.
Yeah. And even then, it's why is he cutting it down the middle? Why isn't he cutting it at in half?
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, so effing. Oh my gosh, there's so much to this. There's so much, but it's also mostly action.
Yeah. The adults are trying to set up stuff to kill the D Reaper, and they're communicating with the kids, and the kids are fighting. The next thing that happens is the UN sends stealth bombers.
Yeah, we're just gonna bomb the effing D Reaper.
Yeah. Or so they think.
Yeah. I just
Like,
realized the effing UN stealth bombers just have the UN logo, like, on their wings. Just
yeah,
in
I don't.
case you didn't know.
Yeah,
I don't
never
know if
mind.
that's, like, a real thing or not. It's probably not,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I was gonna say, never mind that the UN probably doesn't have their own personal stealth bombers. Like they probably have, like if they're operating in a certain country, they would probably have that country provide the bombers.
Yeah, like, this should honestly probably have, like, American flags or something on the wings.
No, it would have Japanese text.
Well, yeah, I guess. Is Japan
Because
part of the UN?
I'm pretty sure every nation is part of the UN. That's kind of the point, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I'm not actually sure now that I think about it, because, like, I could be wrong. I think, like, some countries are actually, like, like, pulled out or whatever. Like, they're not, like, involved with it, but they're, like, associated. I don't
Uh,
know. Point is, we're bombing the D Reapers with, like, EMP bombs, basically.
Two countries that are not UN members are Vatican City, the Holy See, and Palestine.
Yeah, that honestly makes a lot of sense now you say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because it's like, oh, people like the UN actually get how this thing works and they're like prepared for this type of attack, basically. Well, I
Yeah.
guess not as much prepared as much as like, they have a solution, right?
Yeah. And it's clearly coming from, like, the US clearly ordered this or whatever, because a guy calls up on a monitor and his name's Johnny, and I think he has, like, a cowboy hat.
Yeah. I should have
It's like,
got an image of Johnny.
all right, and we're not all cowboys.
Unless you was to be. And like, honestly, you say that, like, when I was going to like high school, like, I knew like the guy who drove like the special bus because I like worked in the back room and stuff. And he would just like, drive the bus wearing like cowboy boots and like a cowboy hat with like a leather jacket.
Yeah, we live in a southern state. If there's people
Yeah.
if there's people who are more likely to dress like that, it's gonna be here.
If
And
anyone's gonna dress like a cowboy, I probably know them.
yeah, it's weird because like our state is very southern minded, but where we live specifically is we're pretty much in the north. I would consider it.
Yeah, we're pretty far up there, honestly.
We're like right in the middle. Oh, it's not a
Yeah.
cowboy hat. He's wearing like it's like an old Joseph Joestar hat, which I guess is a cowboy hat, isn't it?
What if this man is just young Joseph Joestar?
Anyways, they drop EMPs into the D Reaper.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, it's kind of weird because, like, they start showing up, and, of course, Yamaki's immediately like, no, don't shoot it. Like, your conventional weapons won't work. And they
Also,
use their bombs, and it totally does work.
yeah, well, they're not bombs. Like they're like,
Yeah.
oh, don't drop the bombs because they think they're bombs, and it's like there's a kid in there,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, it's actually EMPs the whole time, so it's no big deal.
Yeah. It's like, the UN understands this D Reaper crisis better than anyone, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, the other thing, they, like, drop the not bombs, and, like, apparently, like, a week just passes.
Well, first we get a scene where Jerry's being mocked and whatever by Monster Jerry.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a weird, like...
Yeah, and then Jerry has like a weird outburst. She has an outburst, and then like the weird Jerry monster gets pulled through the orb by cables.
Yeah, that's super weird, because, like, she's being constricted by, like, the D Reaper wires, because it wants to make her, like, suffer and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I'm right above Calmon. Let me fix that. Okay, yup, there you go.
Yeah,
But yeah.
there's this.
There's the solution. But yeah, she's being constricted by the D Reaper wires. And Monster Jerry shows up and real Jerry is like, no, let me go, and the wires grab Monster Jerry for some reason. There's a second where you're like, oh my god, can she control it? And it's like, no, she really can't. But still.
It's random outbursts maybe allow her to control it, but I don't know. It's not explained.
It's very odd. Very unusual.
Because they didn't restrain Monster Jerry and then put it out of commission entirely, because Monster Jerry comes back later.
Yeah, Monster Jerry is still a thing.
And Calamon's trying to pull the cables off of Jerry.
Man, I as that realization, is the big weird wire agent at the end supposed to be her dog puppet? Because it's just a shape with a mouth.
Nah, it doesn't look close enough. If it had maybe abstract ears and empty eyes, I don't know, because the dog puppet does have eyes and ears, and it does have features.
Man, they should have made the big weird shapeless monster at the end the dog puppet. Honestly, the one that Justimon fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
there is a moment when they're fighting it when a big Jerry head pops out of the wires.
Oh yeah, that's super weird. Yeah, so we get a bit of a time skip, and well, first I should probably mention we get the reveal of the final form of the D Reaper, I believe, around this time.
Yeah. They say it looks like a statue of a goddess or something.
Yeah, not sure how much I agree with that, but it's definitely something.
I get what they're saying.
Yeah. It's definitely a cool design.
It looks like it's got the for classical paintings or whatever, you see depictions of Jesus and he's got a glowing aura behind his head.
Yeah, it's got a weird crown and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what they mean, I think, is that it's got a similar feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got man, it's because this is the iconic D Reaper design, right? This is what everyone remembers.
I kind of forgot about it until it popped up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the one where it's you just look at it, it's okay, yeah, that's a final boss. Yeah. They don't really fight it, but they fight its underlings, kind of.
Yeah. Well, this thing's almost like a structure.
Yeah. Oh, exactly, yeah.
It does have parts of it that leap out and attack and whatever, but yeah, it's more like a structure than an actual being.
Man, I do really like the, it's clearly made of, the barrier that was around Jerry, right? You had the ring of eyes and, those weird, shingle, plating things around it, and you've just, turned the platings into, the crown, and you've, constricted the eyes around the opening to the orb.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool build up with that. And it's yeah, then, just a week passes.
A week passes as they do more research and move away from it and whatever.
So I've got a question, right? So last time you had the answers on the whole Doberman thing, but who the crap is Kai?
It's Takado's cousin.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever seen this guy before. He just shows up.
We haven't seen Kai before. I can do a quick Google search to see if there's anything about him, but I don't know. I guess they just need a character to show up to interact with Takado, because
yeah,
I don't know.
It just feels so weird that it's they just invent this character out of nowhere. Go have a new voice actor, a new design, everything. Just to, show up for one scene and be oh yeah, you guys are, fighting these horrible monsters, right? Man, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And he just leaves.
Good news, he comes back in the movie, apparently.
Huh, okay. Alright, that'll probably explain
So,
a lot then.
yeah, so maybe that's why he's introduced in the series. It's because they're going to bring him back for the movie for something.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure, but I thought that the movie came out, like, before the end of the series. Or did it? I'm probably
I
super wrong on that, honestly.
have no idea. I've never seen it.
Because I remember as a point where I was watching through the Digimon movies, and I saw part of it, and I just sort of, like, never watched the rest for some reason. But I do remember a bit of it, and I don't remember this kid, but he's probably in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting.
All the wiki page says is that he's Takado's cousin and he's from Okinawa.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Also, he's voiced by Yuri Lowenthal in the movie.
Huh. Wait, does he have a different voice actor here?
Apparently so. I forgot what it was.
Huh. Alright. Yeah, okay. Makes a bit more sense now. But yeah, so... sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, just, in Japanese, he's Tomo Saiki. In English, the TV show, he's Brian Donovan. And in the movie, he's Yuri Lowenthal. There we go.
Brian Donovan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't remember this kid existed either until he showed up. Because I was also like, who's this kid?
There's something, like, funny about, like, oh, it's Takado and his cousin, Brian.
I think maybe the reason they have him show up is because they probably moved closer to Okinawa to get away from the D Reaper.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's like, oh, Takado's got family here. I don't know.
Yeah, it just feels so weird and unnecessary. Maybe it's like a reference for people who like watch the movie or something. Like maybe this like ties into that a bit better.
If the movie did come out before this, then yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah,
like Rika's like having dinner with her family and Renamon at like some restaurant, and like Henry's working with his dad to run experiments and whatever with Terrierbon.
Hey, Renamon's a girl, right?
Yes, but actually no.
Man, it's like, that's such a weird scene in, like, hindsight, because they're like, oh yeah, you're a girl, right, Ramon? And she's like, well, I say she because, yeah, but, like, Ramon's just like, no, Digimon don't have gender, and they're like, yeah, but you're totally a girl, though. And Ramon's like, no.
But she doesn't follow it up with anything. It's like, are you a girl? Digimon don't have genders.
Yeah.
No, but you are totally a girl, and then they just drop it.
Like, I know we keep referring to like Romon as she, but like it's kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, no, Digimon don't have genders, and they just kind of force it on her.
I mean, she's got a feminine voice.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough.
And then all of her evolutions are humanoid evolutions are feminine.
Well, one of them at least. One of them for sure, and R1 maybe. Like, not counting, like, side evolutions, I guess, because side evolutions are definitely feminine.
Point is, it doesn't matter. It's just, I've brought it up before several times, even before we got to this episode, that the scene exists.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do it like this in the dub, where Rika's mother is like, oh, but you're totally a girl. Like, yeah. I don't know.
So, question...
But the ultimate point that they're getting across is like Digimon are data, so that, like they don't have gender. And if they look, whatever.
Yeah. So question, like, effing like Demi-Daimon evolves into like Devimon, who's like, physically like a guy, and they evolve into Lady Daimon, who's a girl, and they become Dun Devimon. Is Dun Devimon a guy?
Dun Devimon doesn't have any features that make me think it's a woman, so yes.
Maybe.
Like Dun Devimon is a direct evolution for Devimon, so.
Right, yeah, because Devimon has his own ultimate now. I forgot. That was a whole thing.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but...
Man, I know you're probably sick of hearing about the card game by now. But, like, I don't think I mentioned this before, that there's, like, a new Devimon card that's like, when it's destroyed, then, like, if you have a set number of Devimon in your graveyard, then you can just play a done Devimon for free. Like, from the grave.
Dang.
And it's nuts. But yeah, it's like, just gotta, like, just play those late Devimon now to, like, pad out the deck. Just gotta go for it.
Yeah.
Gotta, like, use every Devimon at your disposal. But yeah, so, like, effing week time skip happens. Where, like, it's presumed that it's, like, presumably the D-Reaper's just been, like, stuck in place for a week because of the data bombs.
It's been expanding.
Like, it's expanding, but I assume they've, like, slowed it down, if nothing else.
No, because it has a big explosion of growth and expansion after the bombs are dropped in it. Like, the EMPs don't actually seem to do anything.
Yeah, it's just really weird if, like, they did nothing. Because it's like, a week is a long time for this thing to just keep expanding out as the heroes do nothing, essentially.
Well, it's also doing stuff all around the world.
Yeah. It's like, seems like a big head start for the villain, honestly, where, like, the heroes are just like, I don't know, maybe we can get something together as this, like, perpetually evolving super monster just continues to consume land.
Well, they don't really have any way to combat it, so they're waiting for the adults to develop programs and stuff to, like, fight it.
Yeah, like, a week is probably more realistic, but it's like, feels like it would be, like, less weird feeling if they developed these in, like, a couple of days. Because, like, how they're doing a lot of advanced stuff, but it's like, at least that's not as big of a time scale for the heroes to just be like, well, nothing we can do, just gotta, like, wait this one out. But yeah, so they develop effing red cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, how did they describe it?
I forget how exactly they describe it. They're like, oh yeah, we made this program, and the long short of it is, like, these things will help us go inside the D-Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the more scientific explanation, which we do actually get, is like, oh hey, screw science. This stuff is going to be balls to the wall insane.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's something like it turns them into the substance of the D-Reaper or some crap.
It turns the Digimon into a super fluid.
That's it. That's what it is.
Semi-solid super fluids, so they can, like, act inside of the D-Reaper. Which is, like, as soon as you hear that, it's like, oh, well, as soon as people start, like, spinning around really fast, and they're gonna, like, fly out, right? Because, like, it's like, I guess not. I guess Megazord's really strong.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to apply, like, any kind of real-world physics or logic to the anime.
Yeah, because they realize that it's like the D-Reaper is expanding and, like, evolving. Because there's, and I quote, like, a vortex underneath it that's spinning faster than the speed of light to spur up its evolution.
Yeah. Yeah, never mind that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's like, they're like, yeah, that's how a quantum computer works, like the D-Reaper, and we have to stop this quantum algorithm by, like, finding some way to reverse its spin so it de-digivolves.
Megagargamon, we need you to spin at faster than the speed of light in the other direction.
Megagargamon, we need you to do the most epic Terrier Tornado ever.
Pretty much. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but like we said, it's because a lot of it is fighting.
Well, can we just like take a second to acknowledge I think like just the bit where like, oh yeah, no, we installed the program to Terriermon so we could like, do this. So we could like Digivolve the D Reaper. And like Terriermon and Henry are just like, spinning at like faster than the speed of light. And you see like, inside the weird like soul view where you're like seeing the tamer inside the Digimon, and Henry's physically like spinning around.
Yeah, there's also a slight oscillation to his voice, like he's talking into a fan.
Yeah. Henry is the only Digimon tamer to surpass the light speed barrier.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, Rapidmon was not just an empty title. That speed is for real.
Extremely fast. But before that, Jerry's having a crisis and telling herself that she should die.
I think like before a guy, I just need to acknowledge so I can just sink in that like what's physically happening is that they actively say it's like Megagargamon needs to spin reverse to the like tornado faster than the speed of light so it can essentially create a miniature time machine to undo the evolution.
It also seems to fix all the buildings.
Effing Megagargamon time travels the D Reaper back into being a protozoa.
Also, we don't actually see what happened. Like, the D Reaper gets sucked into the digital world. We don't actually see where it went or what happened to it.
Oh, man. But yeah, these episodes are gonna blend together hard, holy crap.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the episodes we're actually at. Like I said, like a crisis, and like she's talking with her hand puppet, being like, Jerry should die.
Yeah, and Calvon's just straight up like, no, don't be like that, Jerry. The more sad you feel, the worse things are gonna get.
The goofiest bit is where she like takes the hand puppet and has it bite her neck.
Yeah, and Calamon like throws the puppet away, like, no, don't attack Jerry.
Yeah, she's like, screw that. The Calamon's like, screw that thing.
Oh my god, why do I show for this? But yeah, like, that's going on.
Henry's dad scanning Terriermon in a machine.
Yeah.
Totally just scanning him and doing nothing else.
Oh my god. Because there's a bit where Terriermon's being scanned, and he's just like, oh yeah, my ear itches. And like, Lair, you learn they add the program in, and Henry thinks back to Terriermon being scanned, and Terriermon's like, my ear itches.
Yeah, that was a program being uploaded.
Yeah. I like to imagine it was just uploaded directly into his ear. I mean, and it's maybe. Like, yeah, sure, why not?
He's Data. He could have uploaded it to any part of his body, probably.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so like, everyone gets back to Gar because they have like a plan now, and they're like, okay, you kids, go into this big CG orb in the sky so you can have like a moment to like, rest and recover before you go into the final battle.
Yeah, Henry scans the red card and it seems to send out a beacon to the others and be like, okay, it's time to fight now.
Yeah, he scans the red card and he gets them into the orb. And they're like, alright, so how do we do this? And Henry's like, well, y'all need to scan this red card too so you'd be immune to the D Reaper. So he doesn't just do the card slash. He does the motion and he throws the card.
They do the big card slash.
Yeah, he throws the card as everyone just holds out their Digivices like Decado, Rika, and effing Rio. And the card slash goes through, like, each of their Digivices, like, one by one. Like, this throne card just boomerangs around the room and goes through all of their Digivices. And it goes back to, like, Henry, and it, like, slides in all dramatically and, like, finishes the animation.
Yeah. Well, it's the last card slash in the series. They have to make it dramatic.
It's like I totally feel like this is just a time-saving measure, so they don't have to like show 4 card slashes in a row. But still, holy crap!
Nah, they wanted to do a big goofy thing where they do like one giant card slash with all of the heroes.
We must do the strongest card slash ever. Oh my gosh. They just like this like all fly out of the sphere and they're like, alright, yeah, let's like fight the D Reaper now.
Yeah.
So like, man, I feel like most of the D Reaper stuff has aged surprisingly well because it's meant to look really weird and alien. Just
are you talking about the part where all the cables shoot out of the tornado and it's like super noticeably janky 90s CG? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, not even.
Well,
that.
this isn't what I was like gonna show, but like
Yeah.
it's under the wire, so yeah. This is what's
There's-
going on with
there-
Jerry. I should probably mention.
Yeah, there's a scene where a crap load of cables come out of the tornado and it's like super obviously 90s jank CG.
Yeah.
And then it turns into animation.
So I want you to like, just like keep in mind just how horrific that scene with like Jerry is. And now where crap did I put this? Because I know I got the image. Jerry group, whole cables, there it is. Oh my god. Yeah, this didn't quite hold up so well.
Yeah, they look even crazier in motion.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of love it though, because it's weird and freaky and alien. It's like, look at that.
Yeah, look at this. Look how weird this looks. But yeah, I feel like that's like my biggest gripe with the CG, because it's like, well, like, first Ward Growlmon looks really awkward in his evolution sequence, and like same for kind of Rapidmon. Second, effing like when the D Reaper agents explode into the bubbles, it looks really weird because they're just replaced with these little CG bubbles. Third, this. Holy crap.
I think I'm more willing to forgive it because it's supposed to look creepy and weird.
Yeah, this gives me like big effing Beast Wars vibes.
That's about the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think this was around when Beast Wars. Oh my god, I just realized they're clipping into each other.
Don't pay attention. Don't look at it.
Oh my god. Like, no, it's like over here though.
I don't notice it because I'm not really.
Oh, gee, oh my gosh, there's like more over here to the left.
To be fair, they kind of like meld together in the end, anyways.
Yeah,
So
that's...
they probably didn't care if it looked like it was like clipping into itself, because it doesn't matter in the end, because it's kind of intended to.
Oh my god. But yeah, they just form together, and they just like, they just create, is this the right one? Mouth Age? Yeah, they just create this big effing, like, just this monstrosity of an agent.
Complete with vocal cords so it can roar.
Yeah, complete with vocal cords so it can roar. And then it's like, it just shows up. And it's like, on one hand, sure, like, this thing's huge and nuts looking. On the other hand, boy, does this feel way less powerful than the others because it's so featureless.
I think it's supposed to be scary just because of its sheer size.
Yeah, but like the others kind of looked bigger, right? Because you have the big one where it's like, all the other agents were coming off of that. And that felt like it should have been like a bigger threat.
There was kind of a thing they was doing with it where they like put heavy shadows over the top of it so it looked way more imposing.
Yeah.
Kind of does that, but it doesn't work as well.
Yeah, it's like, so for all intents and purposes, this is basically the final boss.
Yeah.
We got this, and we have Monster Jerry, who is apparently able to keep up with effing ultra low Digimon. Cause like,
Yeah, which is kind of stupid.
yeah, it's kind of insane when you think about it. Monster Jerry's like the strongest there ever was.
Yeah.
Why isn't Monster Jerry in the card game?
We are jumping ahead a little bit, because at this point, Gallantmon has evolved or upgraded, whatever you want to call it, to whatever that. What's that mode even called? I'm not even sure.
Crimson mode.
Crimson mode. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They lose Grani earlier in the fight, and then Grani comes back later, and it's as they're falling off of the main body, and it's like, hey, do you want to fly? And then Grani sacrifices itself to become super cool red armor and wings for Gallantmon.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, it's weird because like I'm used to like the newer Crimson mode models, where for some reason they just make his torso stupidly long. Like they make his torso really long and really thin, and it looks very odd.
That sounds like it would look worse than what I'm looking at right now.
I'd like, if you're looking at like the image on like the effing like stream, that's like in the anime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The upgrade, the supposed upgraded model sounds like it looks worse.
Yeah.
Images.
I see if I'm like find it, because I know it's like,
Of course, the image is tiny because when they made the artwork for Digimon, they decided that tiny pictures is what they wanted to go with.
Hard to really get like a good shot of it, but yeah, like in like Digimon World Next Order and stuff, they definitely like lengthened them out and stuff.
Yeah, what I'm looking at might be fan art. Maybe not. Oh, well, yeah, it's like a wallpaper, so probably. But it looks like I can see how it's elongated. It doesn't look as bad as I thought, honestly.
Yeah, like, I don't think it looks bad, it just looks very odd. Okay, yeah, here's a good shot of it. Might just like throw us up on like the Discord.
I don't know if this fan art is representative of what the actual version looks like, but it seems like they made the torso, like the arms and the legs, like a little bit skinnier too to like balance it out.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it looks like here too.
Yeah, like
from the anime, it looks a little more like stubby. Bulky. He looks bulkier.
Yeah.
That doesn't look awful.
Let me see if I just like, yeah, does that work? Okay, yeah, that should work. Alright, give me a sec, I'll get this off. I'll make this work, I promise.
Gallantmon Crimson mode could use nature attacks.
Yeah, apparently.
Huh.
Very odd. Oh, yeah, there we go. And we just stretch the screen. Yep, yeah, there you go.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
You should really do fit to screen, though.
Yeah, I really yeah, honestly, I probably should.
Fit, not stretch, because stretch will make it look even more stretched than it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's actually probably a good idea. Let me just set this back in then.
We should be able to just right-click it on OBS and... Okay.
Oh, crap, where is image actually? Did I screw... Nope, alright, never mind.
Yeah, you should have just been able to right-click it in OBS and it would have given you the option to transform it.
Yeah, it does, but the problem is that the option is like, like kind of redundant when I've already stretched them. But yeah, that's a bit more accurate, and that's like still like
Even after you,
yeah.
even after you've stretched it, it would have. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I guess Sakuyamon does get a moment where Sakuyamon uses her signature attack and blows up a giant agent.
Yeah, I mean that's something.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, they're running through the agent area. They're like, just there's blasting agents in their way and just taking them out. And it's like, there's so many of them, and da. And like effing they like start charging up the tower, and like Gatmon gets knocked back by like a Jerry head that just appears and blows like poison at him, I guess.
Yeah, it's something that makes it so he can't fight.
Yeah, and then Gray's like, oh hey, I'll give you the power to fly so you can like keep fighting. And he's like, thank you for like talking with me so much and stuff. And they become Crimson mode. And they just
also Grani's like literally talking. Like it isn't like typing through an interface or whatever like it was before.
Yeah. No, Gry just became a Digimon somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gatmon has to like fight the evil monster Jerry.
He can fly now too.
Yeah.
Which again is something I feel like he should have been able to do from the start, but whatever.
He really should have been able to. Like honestly, like Gallantmon X doesn't have wings and it can fly. Why can't normal Gallantmon?
Yeah, I don't know. There's several moments where they jump. There's several moments where they like jump really high, and I'm thinking like, wait a minute, he can't fly though. And then he lands on Grani or like whatever, and it's like, oh, he can't fly. He just jumped really high.
Oh my god! I just realized.
What?
Do you remember War Growlmon?
Yeah.
War Growlmon has jet boosters on its back.
He sure does.
War Growlmon has been shown to be able to fly.
I was about to ask that because I know he like charged across a bridge at one point, but I don't remember him actually flying.
Yeah, he can fly and just float in the air and stuff, like, consistently.
So mobility-wise, Gallantmon's a straight downgrade.
Yeah, pretty much. Holy crap.
Maybe not a straight downgrade because
like
Omnimon can't fly, but he's probably more nimble in general.
Well, Omnimon can fly.
Shut up. Know what I meant. Gallantmon.
Yeah, I know.
Gallantmon's probably more nimble in general.
Can you imagine if, like, Omnimon just suddenly couldn't fly, and it was like, oh, if only I could reach this, boss monster to fight it, and then he gets, like, Merciful Mode or whatever, where he gains the wings.
It'd be so lame because there's so many cool shots of Omnimon, like with his cape and everything, especially in the 2020 reboot.
Oh boy.
He's flying around, his cape's flying in the wind and everything, and it looks really cool. It would suck if he couldn't fly.
Man, it's like an honest shame that the first 3 episodes of the reboot weren't just an OVA, because that would have been so much better. But whatever. Like, point is, like, Galmon just starts fighting evil Jerry as the others just deal with the big mouth Reaper agent thing.
Yeah. Also, he trades his lance for like dual blades and a regular sword.
Yeah, like, I feel like this is the first time I kind of got, because it was like, oh, it's meant to be like a spear. Because it's like a lance, but, it was like a thing on the other side, and he just throws it. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
You lose the shield, though, which is a bit of a, like, shame, honestly.
I guess the idea is that Crimson Mode is, like, all-out offense.
Yeah, I assume the idea is that, like, the armor's so much better that you don't need a shield, right? Because it's not even Chrome Digizoid, it's, like, Red Digizoid. which is
Yeah,
supposed to be better.
yeah, because Grani was coated in it, or made of it, basically.
Man, like how nuts is it to be like, oh yeah, this like thing is made of the strongest metal in the known universe. And it's just better than all other materials in every way. And it's like, oh, here's a straight upgrade to that.
Digimon loves to do that. Aren't there several different colors of Chrome Digizoid?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're all meant to be like stronger in some way.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's also like effing like plasterwork Digizoid or something, or like, and no, it's just like rubber armor, isn't it? Yeah. It's also like rubber armor, which is its own thing, and it's like also meant to be like stronger and stuff. Not stronger in Chrome's Digizoid, but like stronger in normal materials.
Yeah. Yeah, around this time we're in the final episode.
Yeah, this is just straight up the finale now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, it's so much as just action, but I feel like we've already talked about most of it.
Well, it's because we've talked about all the finer points and like the meanings behind things and stuff, and it's like, okay, fight the bad guy now, and it's like, yeah, that's what a lot of these episodes have been. It's like, fight the bad guy.
Yeah. Not only do you have to, like, fight the final boss, you also have to, like, spin counterclockwise, like, faster than the speed of light, so you can become a miniature time machine and reverse the evolution matrix.
Yeah. Also, Rika at this point doesn't do anything else because she gives her Sakuyamon gives her power to Ryo's sword, and then he cuts the Reaper agent monster in half vertically instead of horizontally. So it's like, oh well, like I didn't even remember this happened, but I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I was just gonna like rejoin or something, and it totally just puts its halves back together and rejoins, and it's like, yep, there it is.
How have we never learned this lesson? This has been the thing. This has been the deal ever since Dio in like the 80s.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that's especially dumb is because this thing's made out of cables.
Yeah.
If you cut them down the center, it's like, well, the ones that didn't get cut are just gonna like reform with the other half.
Yeah.
If you cut them at the base, then you chop them all off.
Don't forget, Ryo's a pro tamer. He knows what he's doing because he uses the strong cards.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think the Digimon Train Card game in universe just has like a power creep problem, and Ryo just happened to get the newer sets. I feel like that would honestly explain a lot right now. It's like, oh, he's the only person in town with like BT8 cards. Of course he's better than Rika. Because even though he's running like 30 rookies in a 50 card deck, he's got effing like all delete and crap.
Side note, Sakuyamon without the armor looks kind of awful.
Yeah, it's weird because like you can tell that they don't know what to do with specific areas. Because, like, specifically, it's, like, the face, like, because, you know, Sakuyamon, like, uses her power, and she, like, gives her energy to, like, Justamon, so he can, like, power up his blade and cut through the final boss monster. And,
Rika
like...
believes Ryo, and then his sword grows. Sorry.
I was... like, we were all thinking that, right?
Kinda. I'm just like, oh man, it's dumb.
But yeah, she gives her power to him, and that means she loses the armor for whatever reason. So we get armored Sakuyamon. So it's like, you can tell that it's like, you know, in the normal design, Sakuyamon has like the helmet on her head, and like her face is like, you know, hidden under it. And they didn't know what to do with the face. So it's it's yellow in some shots and it's black in others, and there's others where it's like skin colored for some reason.
Well, like while she's still glowing with energy and whatnot at first, it's like like it's just white glowing with energy or whatever. Normally everything's the bodysuit is black. You can even see that
Yeah.
under the armor. Uh,
They can't decide if they want like the actual mask like head area to be like black, yellow, normal colored or what. And every time like the eyes are like the same color as the mask for some reason, so it
yeah,
looks
that
super weird.
looks really bad. I was gonna say Sakuyamon has no eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see the shot you're probably talking about, where it's like a far shot of Sakuyamon without the armor, and her face is like yellow.
Yeah, and I think it turns like skin colored at some point too. It's so odd.
I think there's just some moments where it went off model. I think the whole bodysuit and the mask is supposed to be black.
Yeah. Like the mask area specifically is like super off model at points.
Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing a shot here. I think what it was is you were seeing the part of her face that isn't masked, and they made it too noticeable or something, so it looks weird.
I
Some
legitimately think they just couldn't really agree on how to color it and got confused in post production.
Whatever the case, they could have at least given Sakuyamon eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like there's like they could have just like whatever Renamon's eye color is. I don't even know off the top of my head.
I
But
think
just
it's blue. Yeah, it's blue eyes.
okay, yeah, fine. Just give Sakuyamon blue eyes then. Done.
Yeah. Not even like actual eyes, just make the eye sections blue.
That would work too. Anything is better than like the eye holes also being black.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like they try to cut down the D Reaper agent and it doesn't work because like we should mention it's like this thing forms from like a vortex inside the D Reaper that's connected to the digital world. So it's like coming through with the digital world D Reaper area, and then like they fail to kill it, and the four Devas, no, the four Sovereigns, not the Devas, the four Sovereigns just show up and like push it down the hole.
Yeah, just kind of grab it and pull it in the hole.
Yeah, it's like, well, hopefully you deal with that.
Yeah. Also, Megagargomon runs out of ammo, and so Henry and Megagargomon just start kicking things.
Yeah. And they just like they're like, oh hey Henry, it's time to become the strongest Beyblade to ever exist.
So they start spinning. Wow.
Got spin to win. It's the end.
Henry's dad is like, I put a program in there, you just gotta spin to activate it.
Spin faster than the speed of light, and Terriermon's like, my max speed is Mach 5, and he's like, no, but do it though. Gee, man, this is so off topic. This legitimately does remind me of an effing, like, dumb, like, manga image I saw recently from effing Fairy Tale. Where it's just a subtales where, like, yo, someone's just straight up like, oh yeah, Lucy, use the, like, keys you have for the elemental spirits to, like, release them all at once. And Lucy's like, no, that's impossible. And they're like, no, but do it though. And Lucy's like, okay, let's do it, and it works. It's like the explanation's literally like, no, but use your magic to make up for the keys you don't have or something. So it's like, hey, use all your keys. No, I can't. No, but use magic to use the keys you don't have. And she's like, okay.
Do it though.
It's literally like, hey, do it. No, I can't, but do it though, alright? It's so funny. But yeah, so they like Jerry finally decides that like, yo, she wants to live, and she's like, yo, no, like, yo, humanity is worth fighting for, and yo, we can like evolve and change and stuff. And
Change fate.
Yeah, we can like change our fate and like move past it. And the D Reaper's literally like, no, humans are created to fight. It's like humans are just like, they exist to like fight other people and create conflict, so they must be destroyed. And it's like kind of echoing the themes before, where it's like, oh, Digimon are made to fight, except like a bit of a different context, kind of. But yeah, so it's like Rika's just straight up like, no, like, Digimon were not made to fight. I'm wrong and all this stuff. And they're like, yeah, themes and shit. Let's go.
Also, like, if there's a slight residual energy from Leomine.
Yeah, because, like, I think, like, Jerry looks at her Digivice, and she sees Leomon's image, and it, like, nods at her, like, yeah, good job, well said.
Yeah, that was the goofiest thing. It's like, okay, the little hologram pops out, whatever, but then it nods as if to acknowledge her, and it's like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, and like she activates the power of her Digivice and it breaks open the core to the D Reaper and like lets her out, which is something Gatmon and Beelzemon couldn't actually do working together. Like they could barely get it done.
Yeah, just digital magic, Digivice shenanigans. I don't know.
Yeah, so like Jerry breaks open, she's like, oh yeah, it worked, and like because she broke a hole in it, like D Reaper goo starts pouring in, and Jerry's like, oh god, no.
Well, that's a problem. But it's okay, because Calamon can make a barrier.
Yeah, like Jerry's literally having to hold Calamon like above the goo as it just like climbs up her, and she's like, oh crap. But yeah, they do the thing, and like I think Megagargamon spins faster than light to stop the quantum computing power and Digivolve time itself. These words do not even make sense anymore in context.
Yeah, well, that's why I just don't really think about it, because it's goofy, so it's like, whatever.
Well, like
it's the solution to beat the bad guy.
This is the scale of Digimon. What, you think Charizard's gonna win against more Greymon? Well, Megas can spin faster than light and live.
Yeah, the only negative side effect is Terriermon's dizzy at the end.
Yeah. It's like, there's another negative side effect, but it's from the red cards instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the negative side effect that happens afterwards isn't a result of the spinning.
Yeah. Because, like, Shibumi just realizes, like, oh crap, and he's like, I forgot.
I didn't account for the human element.
Yeah. Which is like, how could you not account for the human, like, what?
I mean, like, I don't know.
Can you imagine if like they put the light speed spin plan into motion and like Henry's dad is like, oh right, my son's in there. It just cuts to Henry and he's just like dead, just like instantly. But like Megagargamon's still going. Like he just immediately passes out. Because, like, if you're spinning at the speed of light, I feel like you wouldn't be able to survive long, even if you're, like, not being, like, pulled apart physically, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
God, can you imagine if, like, Megagargamon had to, like, just stop immediately? Like, how horrific that would be?
Well, I mean, they'd lose.
Just like the inertia of being spun around at the speed of light coming to a halt. Like there's a like legit chance that like every piece of data related to Henry could have like flown off in like every direction at once at the speed of light. Holy shit. Yeah, Shibui's like, oh, I forgot to, like, think of the human element as I was, like, turning everyone into semi-solids that can also move at the speed of light. He's like, yeah, it turns out, like, it'll screw with their digivolutions. So everyone reverts back, and they're like, I honestly don't get why they add this bit into it, right? Because it's like, yo, the whole thing is like, oh, it's supposed to be like, another, like, wrinkle in the plan, but, like, it's solved instantly.
It's just to build tension.
Yeah, it's like, it never feels like this is an actual problem, because as soon as they de-digivolve, they're just floating around in rookie form, and it's like, oh, well, I guess now that the D-Reaper has de-digivolved, this is fine. And they're like, hey, we should probably get out of here. And Marine Angemon, of all things, just shows up. Up with the heart bubbles.
At least there was setup for this.
Yeah.
Like a helicopter showed up and it's like, hey, we were told to find you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They created the moment so Takado would have to split from Guillemon and so he could, like, physically save Jerry.
Yeah. I guess that does make more sense.
Because it's like being Gallantmon and holding Jerry is way less personal, I guess.
Yeah, that does make sense. Although I guess I can see the pros to it too, honestly.
Well, yeah, if you're just Gallantmon, you grab the person, you leave.
Yeah.
But that's not as much of an emotional moment.
Like, I could see them being like, Gottmon holds Jerry, and she is like that moment being like, oh no, I'm being saved by my knight in shining armor or whatever. But it's like literal. Yeah, I could see them doing it either way.
Fine.
Also, I like how I've just replaced Lotmon in this image. But yeah. So it's like, right, that's another thing. I should probably mention that it's like, yeah, apparently Kenta just understands Marine Angemon, even though it doesn't speak English.
Yeah, it's weird that it doesn't speak. And he doesn't say he understands it, like, as, like, words or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I get what it's trying to tell me.
I understand the meaning of it. I understand this completely.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like a bond between a tamer and their Digimon, that kind of deal.
Yeah. But yeah, so they like... They had Saved by Marine Angemon and like an effing Gargamon, I guess? Because Gargamon's just there too. It's like, oh yeah, Kenta and Kazu finally came through big time. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, save Terriermon too, and shoots a bubble to him, and they fly out. And that's pretty much the end of the whole thing.
Yeah, they just go back to the human world, and it's like, it's weird because, like,
Takado's like, we'll be together forever.
And then they died. Yeah, they get back out and they're like, yeah, we solved the D-Reaper crisis. We'll be fine forever. And everyone's Digimon starts, like, de-digivolving.
There is a sweet moment where Itmon shows up and he's like, hey, my partner's got their Digivice. I'm officially, like part of a tamer partnership thing.
Yeah.
And then Jerry basically forgives Itmon.
Yeah. Heck yeah, Itmon. Heck yeah.
It's this nice moment where Itmon is in, like, genuine shock because he can't believe it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, time for Itmon, go back to the digital world. Come on, everyone. Back to the wastelands where Meramon will try to kill you.
Yeah, the moment that happens, Itmon starts glowing and all the Digimon start shrinking.
Yeah. Like, they specifically de-digivolve, because, like, now that the D-Reaper is, like, de-digivolving and the barrier's back in place, they can't exist in the human world anymore. Oh, jeez, I forgot. Like, we also got explanation for what the crap Shibumi is. Sorry, not Shibumi. Was it, like... it wasn't you, Goth. It was like Shagai. Yeah,
Shagai, yeah.
yeah, because we learned that like how Shagai works is it like opens a portal to the digital world by creating a miniature Big Bang.
Yeah,
It's like, wait, what? You could just do that?
yeah. Just add it to the list of anime characters slash things that can create big bangs. One of which is Soul Bad Guy
Oh
from
my
Guilty Gear.
gosh. And Saul still loses to Kai.
Yeah,
Man, did you see that clip of that happen?
I watched the story mode. Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. It's like I don't play online, but I do buy the games and watch the story mode. I'm into fighting games for all the wrong reasons.
Jeez, yeah, there's just that moment where it's like Kai fights Saul seriously.
Puts him in a crater.
Yeah, he like immediately just wipes the floor with him, and Saul's just like, crap, if only I could like release my own like install or whatever. It just doesn't work. And Kai's like, yeah, this is how I have to fight to beat Gears.
Yeah, yeah. It's worth noting that Kai whips out a bunch of like dirty tactics. Like I think he throws sand in his eyes and stuff, and it's like
Yeah, like he stabs him in the foot, and while Saul's distracted, he like breaks his sword and like uses part of the shards to like blind him. Like he throws the shards of his own weapon at his face.
yeah. Given like if need be, Kai can just wreck Soul and probably a lot of other people because like normally he's fighting all honorably and stuff, but if he just needs to win, like I think Soul threatens his family.
Yeah.
He's like, oh what? He's like, oh, what if I went after Sid and Dizzy? What would you do then? It's like the answer is to put him in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think like hell no.
Also thanks to Wooly, I now understand why there's a part in I think it's Rev 2's story where Kai's eye starts glowing and he has like gear powers.
Yeah. Man, I'm just noticing how off model Lotmon is right now. Now that I have an actual model of Lotmon to put next to it.
Yeah, well, you're not meant to be looking at Lotmon that closely.
Yeah, don't look at it.
There's a lot of stuff happening all at once. I say that, but then like Renamon's one of the more prominent characters in this image because of her, like she's so bright.
Yeah.
And she has like no features.
Yeah. Oh man.
She's also gigantic.
Yeah, Renamon's always been pretty big, honestly.
Yeah, but like I think she's almost as big as Cybergermon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, so everyone like, everyone's Digimon starts de-digivolving, and they're like, oh, we have to like, gotta take you back to the like, digital world and stuff, and we have to like just take everyone back there so everyone will like, just survive and stuff. Because otherwise you're all gonna de-digivolve into basic programs like the D-Reaper originally was.
Yeah, Henry's dad says that if they don't go back, then they'll basically revert to programs.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm imagining that's like, they'll literally turn into like, the game sprites and just disappear or whatever, right?
Yeah, they can't physically exist now because the gate's closed.
Because the game's closed. Oh, sorry, the gate. Yeah.
The gate's closed. And yeah, it's like earlier on in the episode, or maybe the episode before, I think Henry's dad says something like, "I won't ask to be forgiven." Because he's been setting this up and not telling Henry what's gonna happen.
Yeah, which is like, it's all so weirdly horrific and dark, and like, you just look at it, it's like, oh man, you really did something here for like the greater good, man. This is a
It's horrific.
lot.
I don't think it's horrific. It's just sad.
Yeah, because everyone just starts de-digivolving and nobody knows why, and they're like, oh god, what is this?
Yeah. And then Henry's dad shows up to explain what's happening, and then
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is what it is. Yeah, I wonder if that's why they had the whole red card thing, because they had to have, like, they had to have them de-digivolve, or it will have been like, oh, you have too much time. Cause, like, if they de-digivolve from Mega down, then, like, it'd be, like, not as, like, dire, right? I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so you have to, like, send their Digimon back to the digital world, and then, like, Takato just, is like, oh yeah, things return to normal, and he looks at the place where he kept Guilmon, and there's, like, Guilmon's hole is still connected to the digital world, seemingly.
yeah. Hold on, I gotta watch the scene in English. Because there's a detail that I think I remember from the dub that's not in the sub. Give me a sec.
Yeah, we got this. Pearl's right there. We have plenty of time.
Okay, all right. In the dub, there's like a part where the part where Henry like turns to his dad and just like shakes his head and then turns back on him. In the dub, his dad is like, "Oh, things will get better in time. You'll see." And then Henry shakes his head, and it's I don't know. It's like I think the scene didn't need that. It's like I get what's happening. Henry's saying like he can't forgive him or whatever.
Yeah, things will get better. You just have to, like, wait for it. Yeah, everything's gonna be a-okay, not your, like, super close partner is gone.
Yeah, the scene being wordless makes it just works better.
Yeah, I feel like I did hear something about that, where it's like, oh, they screwed up Henry's whole thing with his dad or whatever. But yeah, knowing it's, like, the final episode makes it so much worse. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but maybe they just like, oh, the kids won't get what's happening here or something.
Yeah. We gotta make it clear for the kids, because they're not the smartest.
Yeah. But as adults, it's like, I get what's happening. I get
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have to say anything, and I get what he's saying.
Yeah, it's like, it's a bit more clear in the sub, isn't it? Because he's like, oh, yeah, we had to do this, and, I know it's wrong.
Yeah, he's like, it doesn't say it's like, I know it's wrong or whatever, but it's like, I had to do it. Like, this is the only way we could have saved the world.
Yeah, all things considered, like, yeah, that's probably the truth.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I sympathize with his dad, because it's like, of course, he had to do what he had to do, even if it meant doing this terrible thing.
Because something we're kind of glancing past is that it's like, no, the D-Reaper was, like, linking up with, like, other versions of itself across the world. Like, this crap was going to spread and become a global problem, like, very quickly.
Yeah, this was a world-ending event, and Henry's dad did what he had to do.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, time was short. He couldn't tell Henry and then argue over it for like 6 more episodes.
Yeah. So yeah, like, any thoughts, I guess?
It's still my favorite Digimon season so far.
Yeah, like, maybe it's just me, I feel like this finale was kind of weak for how much it was, like, built up, right? Because it's like, it's not bad. Like, I'll just put that out right now. It's like, it's not bad at all. It's like, definitely, like, I'll say it's well written, but it's like, there's a lot of awkwardness to it, right? Like, a lot of, like, awkwardness and, like, how they choose to address things and stuff.
Yeah, it's just, they need to keep it action-packed for the kids, but they also... I think it kind of balances out. There's a lot of episodes where they're just talking with people and like the adults and whatever, and it cuts
Yeah.
between them and the kids while they're fighting. And I think it did a pretty good job of, like, instead of having one episode where they sit around and there's no fighting and they just talk about how they're going to fix it. It's like,
Yeah.
we need to keep the attention span of the kids, so let's do it like this.
I
And so the final episode is supposed to be like part of a big build up or whatever, you know?
Yeah, because it feels like, it's like, of course they want to, like, get everyone involved and, have all the players, like, play their part and stuff like that. So you have to have, like, stuff like the Sovereigns coming back and, like, Marine Angemon saving them and all this stuff.
I
But it's
really
also,
appreciate. I'm just gonna say I really appreciate how, like, the parents of the kids that have a lot to do.
yeah. Because, like, the Wild Bunch basically, like, save the day. Like, it's not just, oh, kids, like, hold up your Digivices, it'll seal away the big evil bad guy. It's like, no, we have to actually, like, like, work for this and put effort in, and, we have to, like, trust our lives into these, like, programmers and stuff who are, like, still in the dark, but they're the best experts we have.
Yeah. Well, that's what they are. They're experts because
Yeah.
they made these things.
Yeah, we have to, like, team up with Yamaki and, like, use Shagai and all this stuff to, like, get things to work.
Yeah.
But it's also like, that feels like this is the big downside of having a villain that's just, like, a big, faceless, like, evil force. That's like, whole thing is, like, uniformity and being, like, alien and unknowable and stuff. Because it's like, it makes it hard to really, like, have, like, a really good, compelling final, like, encounter with them. When it's like, like, they're not really able to, like, have, like, established villains with, like, personality or whatever tied to them, right?
Well, they had that for the first arc, like with the Sovereigns, and then they had Beelzemon, and then the final bad guy is the D Reaper.
Yeah, because, like, the big file thing is, like, they just pull a new enemy out of nowhere, like a new agent, and they don't even really finish it off, and it feels very odd. Like,
I
technically the
do.
real climax is, like, Megagargamon spinning at reverse the speed of light times 100, and, like, the Big Bang Shagai hole to the digital world.
Yeah, pretty much. It would have been a little more satisfying if they showed what happened to the D Reaper.
Yeah, if they, like, if they had the scene of, like, the D Reaper, like, falling apart, or if, like, like, if Gauntmon had to, like, break its face open to shave Jerry or something. Did I just say shave Jerry? That's not what I meant.
But yeah, there's
Jerry comes out and she's bald.
uh, um but yeah, they should have shown it like disintegrating or something. The most
Yeah.
we get is we see the goop like retracting into the digital portal.
Yeah, I think we hear, like, the main body scream in Jerry's voice or something. Or
Yeah,
quote-unquote Jerry's voice.
yeah.
But yeah, like, the epic, like, the big mouth creature they, like, made should have totally been, like, a version of the puppet. Like, it should have resembled it. And, like, Gallantmon should have been the one to break the main body's face open. And I think that would have, like, honestly helped a lot to give closure to it.
Yeah, it would have been better than Jerry breaking it open and creating a problem.
Yeah. Because, like, even if it's like, oh, she, like, cracks it and then Gallantmon, like, finishes it off, I think that would have been, like, more, like, more satisfying, I think I should say.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want Jerry to have been denied a chance to actually do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that would be a good way to handle it. It's like Jerry cracks it and then Gauntmon just breaks it open with his spear and stuff. But yeah, like, definitely a good series, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it hasn't been like, like a completely smooth ride. Like I've had my gripes and stuff, but yeah, like I feel like I'd like very honestly say like this is probably one of like the better like Digimon series so far I've seen.
Yeah.
Like well, I mean, yeah, I definitely rank it above like Adventure in O2, I'd imagine.
Which is like, yeah, and that's no knock against those because those are still pretty good. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
Tamers
like
is my favorite.
it's like O2, large gap, Adventure, and then Tamers is like slightly above it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty fair.
yeah. And even then, I appreciate O2 more than I did before because the sub is
Yeah.
better than the dub.
Yeah, I'd definitely put the sub of O2 like a bit like, good chunk above the dub.
Yeah,
Like it would be like it's not perfect all, but it's like way less farther down from Adventure than I'd imagined.
yeah.
Like the
It is
sub of
it is kind of a bummer because I think Derek Stephen Prince does do a good Ken slash Digimon Emperor.
yeah.
Also, you got to hear that guy talk. He just sounds like that. Like it's like, oh, he's doing a voiceover. No, that's just his voice.
Uh, the like I know I've seen it. The only thing that's coming to mind right now, because I've like watched it recently, is effing like Purple Eyes' video, Digiman's The Adventure 2. Where he just voices the Digimon Emperor. Man.
Yeah,
Like that video is not for children, don't get me
no,
wrong. If you want to see
no.
something hilarious about Digimon O2, watch that video. It's
Uh,
amazing.
okay, I think I can put the voice in your head. Remember Kokichi from Danganronpa?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that does it.
Like Kokichi's like the Kokichi voice is just a little bit higher than like what his normal speaking voice is. Like he's doing a bit of a voice, but you can just hear the voice like the voice he does with his characters in his normal speaking voice.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just thinking of like just the middle image of like how they stop like Skull Greymon in that parody video. And it's like, oh yeah, that's our solution for the D Reaper. That.
I don't remember it very much. I'd have to watch it again.
It's like we do that, but it's like the bombers shooting him down. Just dropping them all into the D Reaper. No, watch Digiman's The Adventure and you'll totally get what I mean. Watch that video and then come back and rewatch this video and you'll be like, oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, like, I guess we'll just be finishing this all up with the movie then next week, because like we're not ending the podcast. We're just going on hiatus so we can get through Shadowbringers.
Yeah. Also, heck
Also,
that.
yeah, we've been like doing this week after week for a while.
I was also gonna say maybe even we might use this day if you're up for it, this day or Friday to finish Cyber Sleuth.
Like I'll have to like think about it because like there is a time where I was doing like 4 or 5 streams a week, and now it's like I feel like I don't have the energy for that right now.
Understandable. I was just, I think we should finish it as soon as we can.
Yeah,
And maybe if that means cutting out one of the Shadowbringers days, I'd be okay with that, just because we're so close to the end.
so close to the end of Cyber Sleuth.
Cyber Sleuth, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was
Like
about
it
to be
might.
like, if we're close to the end of Shadowbringers, then that's nuts.
No. And honestly, that depends on how much of Shadowbringers you want to stream. Because we could just go through 5.0, which is the main story, and like wraps up most of the main plot elements. But then there is like all the way up to the current patch, which continues the story. Like it's still part of the Shadowbringers. The main villain and the problems get dealt with in 5.0.
Yeah, that's really a decision.
And then new stories pop up for the other patches.
Yeah, because it's like, it's one of those weird things where it's like, of course, like, I don't want to just stream stuff based on what gets, like, views or whatever, but Shadowbringers has not been doing especially well, it feels like.
It's a shame, because there are some cool moments in the... Like, all of the patches that include more story are still good.
Yeah, like... Also, like, Berseria was doing way better by, like, it was getting, like, 5 views consistently compared to, like, Shadowbringers 2, honestly. And I know it's, like, not a huge difference, but it's also, like, one of those views comes from me, so that kind of makes it feel worse.
I'm gonna say I think you should stream what you want. If you want to do Shadowbringers, then you should do Shadowbringers, but...
Like, I can't do want to get through Shadowbringers, honestly.
Okay. Well, I meant continuing past 5.0.
Yeah, well, I'll think about it when we get there. We might get to a point where we, like, finish the main story and we have, like, one day to do expanded content and another day for, like, something else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like, Digimon Podcast Show, it will return eventually.
Yeah. After we're done with this, I do want to boot up Parsec and see if my computer can handle hosting Cyber Sleuth.
Man, like, at some point I honestly, like, because I don't know if you'd even be on board with this, but I honestly do want to either do, like, Mega Man Legends or The Legend of Dragoon.
I'd be super down for Mega Man Legends.
How do you feel about Legend of Dragoon, though?
Don't care about it. You brought it over for me to try at one point, and I didn't care for it.
Yeah. And, like, would you be okay being on, like, voice chat for it, or would it just be, like, just so whatever that it's, like, just, it'd be a bother?
I have to be honest, I don't think I'd be very into it.
Yeah, that's honestly fair.
Even if I'm not the one playing it.
Yeah. But yeah, like, that might be a thing. I got another solo playthrough at some point.
Yeah, most of the stuff you're doing is with other people, isn't it?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, because I'm like, it's mostly like me and you, and then I'm also doing like the D&D stuff and like, Cookie's Phoenix Wright streams, which are like, I should probably mention, those have been like, pretty great. I don't know if you've like been like following those or whatever.
I haven't even finished the first game, so I don't want to hear anything.
Yeah, I'll just say like we're like making jokes on there that I feel like I would not be comfortable making on a Digimon podcast. That should give you an idea of how low we have sunk. Like, the phrase 3 minutes has become a running gag. This trial will only last 3 minutes. That's about as long as I'll last. But just, let's check those out. There's like Saturdays at like 8 consistently on Cookie's channel, CanadianCookie. It's like Canadian_Cookie, I believe. Yeah.
Hey, if there's anybody out there watching this who knows anything about making a randomizer for a game, depending on the cost, I might be willing to pay for a Mega Man Legends randomizer to be created.
Oh, that has to exist somewhere.
It doesn't, as far as I can tell.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I would love it if there were just items in random places.
Ah, that has to exist somewhere, though. That's like, That's because all you have to do is like swap locations around, and then like maybe swap enemy placement, like
So
that.
you would have to there would have to be certain things like you couldn't put the parts for the jump springs up in locations you can't reach without the jump springs.
Yeah,
Like there has to be like some thought put into it. And honestly, I don't know how hard it is to make a randomizer, but I might be willing to learn if it's not too hard.
I I did like. I probably should actually look into this honestly myself too, because I was wanting to do like a sequel to the Final Fantasy X randomizer at some point, where it's like like a while
Two.
back I did like, huh?
You want to do like an X2 randomizer?
No, just do X again, because like the first randomizer was a weird thing. It was like a weird learning experience where like everyone was at the same like starting points they would be at, but I just scrambled the sphere grid mainly.
Mm.
But yeah, it turns out just doing that just makes Lulu insanely overpowered, and like everyone's stat spreads are like nonsense. So like every boss fight was like a breeze, and enemy encounters were like terrible. So I'd want to try to do like a follow up to that where it's like, second playthrough of the game, I like don't randomize the stat spreads, but I just put everyone in different locations. So it's like, oh, like Auron can actually be like, a build instead of just like, being like a big mess of random nothingness or whatever. And
Yeah.
I can like randomize where the skills are and like randomize starting locations, and it'd be like way more interesting and fair. But yeah, I
Yeah,
was thinking it's like if I had to do that, I'd also want to try to like find a way to randomize enemy locations and stuff too to make things interesting.
I wouldn't mind seeing that in a Legends randomizer because like oh the Reaver bots from the sub cities are just in the ruins and it's like oh god. uh but yeah, I've been interested in maybe I've been wanting to do a Legends randomizer because I've been watching Vinny from the Vine Sauce channel. Uh, he's doing a Wind Waker randomizer, and like th- there's so much care and attention to detail put into it. Like he's changed Link's character model to Tingle.
What?
Yeah, so I mean, he's still playing the same game, but now Link is Tingle instead, and you would be like, okay, well, yeah, that's a funny change. But Tingle has his own unique sword, shield, hammer. What else is unique? His bottles are turned into Tingle bottles. Tingle has his own voice clips for everything.
Oh, that's nutty.
The mirror shield, like he starts with a shield and then you get the mirror shield and it's a different customized shield.
What?
When Tingle it's like a rupee shield.
Oh my gosh.
When you get the master sword it's just the master sword, but like everything else is like his starting sword is different. What else has changed? I mean, that might actually be it, but yeah. And then there's a lot of different models you can change to, and I'm sitting here like, what do the other models change, if anything? Like, if this one has so much love put into it,
Yeah.
like there's you can play as Link's grandma.
Oh, like I wonder if that's like, cause I don't know if this is like the same thing or not, but I know it's like Cookie was playing like some mod for Link's Awakening, where I just looked at the screen and he was gaining Metroid items and he was a Moogle. And I was like, what the crap is this?
Yeah, randomizer stuff is crazy. I would love to see Legends get that kind of treatment. Like
Yeah.
you replace Mega Man with like characters from the side, like Zero or like other side scroller character
You just
games.
replace Mega Man's model with Teasel.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's like short.
Oh my god, he'd be a little tiny teasel. Like,
Oh man.
play as Tron or like a big serve bot.
I actually wonder how hard it would be to like manually do that, like, because
Well,
I don't think I'd be able to like randomly like change things, but it's like if I'd go into the files, I could like well, I don't know, it'd probably be terrible, but I'd imagine that
you
it's
probably have to.
like, yeah, if I really worked it, I could probably figure something out where it's like, oh yeah, like just put like Teasel's skeleton on Mega Man's rig or some crap. Or like do something goofy with it, and then just
Yeah.
like randomize characters around through like a different like outsourced thing and do it like that.
Well, honestly, like all I would want randomized is like items, enemies maybe, and like maybe be able to change who you're playing as, like just cosmetically though.
Stretch Data's model over Mega Man.
Oh my god, that'd be awful.
It'd be
But
so
yeah,
horrible.
replacing the models might not be hard if you know how to do it. It's just you would need the actual models to
Yeah.
exist, and then sorry, there might be like files to determine how tall someone is, and so that would
Yeah. It would definitely be complicated.
yeah. But I honestly, I would be content if I could find somebody who would just make a randomizer that swaps items and puts them in random places.
Yeah. Yeah, so like anything else we want to say before signing off?
I think that's all I got.
Effing FFX Randomizer 2 might be coming out sometime in the future. See you guys around.
Later.
Later.